Hello, everyone. Welcome to Feedstuffs 365. I'm Sarah Muirhead. Disruptors in the industry, those people, those companies, that technology, it's all about changing things up and bringing forward new ideas and who knows, possibly some new solutions. Joining us today is a disruptor in the agricultural input sector that's bringing forth a new idea for the hog industry. Jordan Phasey is founder and CEO of Phinite, and he is here with us today. Welcome, Jordan. Thank you for joining us.
G'day, Sarah. Thanks. I'm glad to be here.
For those of you that are joining us here online, we thank you for your time and tuning in. If you have any questions, feel free to post those there in the chat area to the right of your screen. If you're joining us from social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, simply post your questions directly in those channels. So, Jordan, I'm going to ask you to tell us a little bit about yourself and Phinite. You sure don't sound like you're from the southeastern U.S. I heard you were headquartered out of North Carolina, but I just think there might be a little more history there.
Thank you. Yeah. So I'm a water and wastewater engineer from Australia. I grew up in the Northern Territory of Australia. And in Australia, my work was to do the drinking water treatment for remote Aboriginal communities spread out across the Northern Territory of Australia. So this is a very remote part of the country. It's the same part of Australia where Crocodile Dundee is from, and these Aboriginal communities are in the most remote parts of the country, usually about 200 miles by dirt road from the nearest town. My job was to develop simple and robust treatment systems to provide safe drinking water in that environment. And I became passionate about food security and phosphorus security, and that's what brought me and Phinite to the United States. So I developed a couple of technologies to mine the fertilizer present in sewage, and ultimately won an award at the White House from the US EPA for one of those technologies, and livestock farmers in the southeastern United States asked me to come and work with them on the farms and making fertilizer out of their manure.
Hang tight, I've lost my sound. This is not good. All right,
I've got you, yeah.
sorry, all. All right, I'm going to. All right, I'm just going to Jordan. So Finite has is said to be rewriting the next chapter on phosphorus. What exactly does that mean?
So at Phinite, we want to turn animal farms into the renewable fertilizer mines of the future. So animal farms across the United States produce $5 billion worth of fertilizer every year. And 40% of America's agricultural phosphorus demand could be met by recycling manure in a more efficient way. And the fundamental challenge to recycling manure is around removing moisture from the material. So manure is normally very wet when it's excreted by animals, and most farms apply their manure based on nitrogen rates. And so the phosphorus in the material is not being used in the most efficient way possible. And they have to do this because the material is really wet, really heavy and expensive to transport. And so at Phinite, we have developed a low cost, low energy drying system coupled with a robotic materials handling system that makes it profitable to mine and manufacture fertilizer from manure. And that's what the company does. We are located initially in North Carolina, servicing hog farms within this market. But ultimately, the vision is to expand the company and provide these services at a national and international scale.
Very good. I can hear you now too. I had to hardwire in, but that's okay. Technology, you know how it is. You have to be adaptable, right? You have to try new things, or you have to go back to the old way. But so, what then makes your product different from others that are on the market?
So we produce a high analysis organic fertilizer product that is sold in the premium organic fertilizer space. It has a 312-0 analysis. But what's really special about our fertilizer is that it is granular and it's completely odorless. The material that we mine from lagoons has been heavily anaerobically digested. And so the product is so stable that it is a completely odorless fertilizer product that's really attractive for farms that want a great source of fertility, but are also maybe sensitive to like their neighbors might be sensitive to odors and things like that.
So you don't have to put in any kind of odor control or additives or anything like that.
No.
So now it looks like, and maybe you mentioned this, I couldn't hear. You create like a wetland area, right? That you utilize to dry down the manure.
The
Walk
drying
or
system
how?
is a sorry, go.
Yeah, walk us through this. What is the drying system?
So it's a greenhouse-based drying system that we use, and so we mine the very thick manure from the bottom of lagoons and then dry it using this greenhouse. And there's a robot inside the machine that mixes the material and assists it in drying. And then the final dry product we then uh, crush and screen post-process to provide a uniform fertilizer product for our customers.
So what does that process take in terms of length of time and how much what's kind of the cost of doing that?
So depending on the size of the farm, we provide a service to farmers. So so the drying system itself on the average size farm here in North Carolina costs about $125,000 to build. And that unit generates revenues to the farmer that pays off the asset over its life, usually about $14,000 per year. The farmer will earn from the manure that is processed on their farm.
And
This
your go ahead.
The system, we operated in batch mode, and so you sort of fill it all the way up and then operate it over 2 to 3 months to dry that material out, and then you'll clean it out and start again.
So it's kind of a 2 to 3 month cycle then that you're utilizing, and you're on the back end of that, right? You make use of that dry manure that comes off, or are there also other things that producers can do with that, or how would that work?
Yeah, so we provide farmers with a high value market for the material in addition to. So we operate the system. Once a farmer has paid for the capital cost, we take over the rest of the operations of the system. We operate the robot on a daily basis, maintain it, fix it when things go wrong, and then we also provide the processing and the market service for growers. And so often with these products, the cost of sale for fertilizer products is really higher than what sort of the amount of value that an individual farm generates. And so being able to aggregate that together generates a large enough resource to justify sort of the sort of premium marketing efforts that can then earn farmers top dollar for their fertilizer.
So it's certainly an advantage when it comes to transportation when you dry the manure down. Any other advantages versus just that hauling, ability and lack and lower cost?
So it provides farmers with an opportunity to use all of the nutrients within their manure rather than just the nitrogen, and that's a really advantageous part to the whole thing. And also, by increasing the transport distance, you can you fundamentally improve the sustainability of feed production by reducing the reliance on sort of mined and synthetic sort of resources of fertilizer nutrients. And the fertilizer, the way we dry it is through a natural air drying process that fundamentally consumes a very low amount of energy. And so one of the challenges with synthetic fertilizer manufacture is that it's very greenhouse gas intensive, particularly nitrogen fertilizer is made out of natural gas. Uh, and this product being produced from a waste stream using very low amounts of energy means the carbon footprint of the product is really attractive compared to synthetic fertilizer products. which helps improve, the overall carbon footprint of agriculture.
Anything in particular that producers need to know when it comes to either the process or even utilizing this fertilizer when they, go to apply it?
Yeah, so we're looking for more and more organic farms interested in using the product. So they're welcome to reach out to us on our website to do that. I mean, the main thing really is, do you want a better fertilizer to use on your farms? This material handles really well, spreads using conventional spreading equipment, and then because it's low odor or no odor, really, farms where like in a lot of organic producing regions now, manure as a fertilizer is starting to be heavily restricted due to the odor that's associated with it and neighbours complaining about it. And so this is a product that can be used and help farmers continue to get the value out of the land that they've invested a lot of time and money in converting to organic production, while they have these challenges with their with their community. And so we're obviously very happy to help growers in that way.
Well, some states, some areas also have restrictions on when you can spread manure. Do you know if this product then gets them kind of around those restrictions, or is that something you're still exploring?
So the short answer is it depends. A lot of those restrictions are around sort of weather dependent things, which makes
Mhm.
sense for all fertilizer, not just manure. But certainly, if you can apply fertilizer, you can apply our product.
What about, when you apply manure directly, sometimes there's some, not when you'd have corn and beans, but on some other kind of crops that might be, more directly consumed by humans. There's some food safety issues. Does this fertilizer have those same concerns, or is the process that you put it through, does that help to minimize that?
Yeah, so the pathogen content of our product meets the processed manure standards that OMRI have. We are working on upgrading our OMRI certification to achieve that. At the moment, there are withholding periods for the product, but that will change within the next 12 months because we've got really good data behind justifying the way the manufacturing process is really effective at removing pathogens.
So, what about size of operation? We're talking organic, so maybe we're talking not always, but smaller operations, or can you also go out to the large integrated operations? Is this a solution for them, or
Yeah,
where
sorry.
does that look like?
So the manure resource, all livestock farms can provide the manure resource, and the fertilizer is sold to organic farmers.
Oh, gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah.
So, but again, back to the question in terms of any farm of any size can take a look at this technology. You just would scale it appropriately.
Uh, Generally, yes, but we have some sort of geographical requirements for farms that we are servicing right now. We're really focused on farms in North Carolina uh, initially, and in later years we'll expand our business out of the state. But this is the place that we're focused on at the moment.
So we do have a question that's come in through social media, so we're gonna go ahead and post that. So they would, here's the question from Canada. Who would this be applied to in size of production unit? The question we just talked about. So,
Yeah, so we work. The average size farm we work with is about a 4,000 head finisher.
okay.
Um, at the moment, we're not working with farms that are smaller than that, but we're beginning to introduce sort of regionally located cluster units that can service smaller farms as well. But again, it's all North Carolina focused at the moment.
Right. Is there any kind of environmental, I mean, this gentleman or person was from Canada. It gets a little cold in Canada. Does that become an issue with this technology, or do you think, can it be applied in any kind of environment?
Yeah, the drying process is weather dependent, but it does fundamentally become a matter of sizing. And so it depends on the climate that you're working in, but I feel confident things can work. This could work in other climates.
Very good. So, anything else that our audience should know about Finite or the technology that it's bringing forward here?
Yeah, please get in touch with us if you're interested to learn more about what we do. Um, both obviously on the livestock and on the organic food production side. Yeah, we really appreciate the time to speak to everyone, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Jordan. Appreciate your time here today. That's Jordan Phasey, founder and CEO of Phinite. We appreciate all of you joining us here as well. We know you have busy schedules, so giving us a piece of your day and time is very much appreciated. A reminder that all Feedstuffs 365 sessions are available in on-demand format. Also, we want to let you know that you can now find Feedstuffs 365 on feedstuffs.com. There's a lot of .coms in there. So if you see a session you want to tune into and you can't recall where to find it, you can go to feedstuffs.com and scroll down and find that. For those dairy folks out there, we hope to see you next week at World Dairy Expo in Madison. Until next time, for Feedstuffs 365, I'm Sarah Muirhead.